Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Moby with Lifestyle TV, and today we have an excellent guest. Let's welcome Don. Hey, Don, how are
Hey everybody, how are you? Nice to be here.
you? Nice. Thank you for coming to our show. Don, today's topic we're going to discuss about you and your accomplishment and how did you start doing or what you're doing, and we briefly discuss offline. So let's have official welcome for you and tell us about yourself.
Oh wow. There's I have so many hats apparently, and depending on how people know me will really depend on which side of me they see. As with everybody. So I'm an author of probably I think about 16 books now, all around the areas of social justice and human rights and the human condition. I sail around the world. Haven't stopped for the last 4 years. Speak about 5 languages semi-fluently, including Arabic, Portuguese, Spanish, and Italian. A little bit of French and a little bit of German. I'm a mother of two incredible young men called Khaled and Nasser. Um, and I grew up in a small village in England, and I absolutely love coaching other authors, mainly people that are already successful and have got influence, so that they can then give a voice to the voiceless, and then publishing their books. So, and I'm currently in Colombia in the Andes, so it's
They're very nice.
very exciting.
How is the weather there?
Yesterday was really hot. This morning was really hot. Now we have a thunderstorm. Yeah, honestly, if I wasn't in Colombia speaking Spanish, I'd think I was in England.
Oh, wow. I haven't met too many people who can speak so many languages and been really very enjoying all different cultures. And I see that you speak Arabic, Spanish, as well as Portuguese, right?
Yep. See.
Wow, amazing,
Mm.
amazing. So,
Yeah, I've just spent 9 months in Brazil, so
wow.
I'm returning to Spanish now. But Colombian Spanish, as most people that will know, is very different to Argentinian, where I spent 9 months. It's different to Chilean. It's different to European. It's just like Arabic. Depending on which part of the Arab world you're in, will be different.
Yeah, the dialects are different. So, yeah, I speak.
English and American are different.
Yeah, well, the English is also. So, yeah, I speak Arabic, and also,
Wallahi.
yeah, kaif al hal. Okay. Tell me a little bit about how did you start doing this full-time work?
Well, I've always been a writer, whether it's writing poetry or short stories, journaling. When I first started in publishing, gosh, many years ago, I worked in newspapers, so I was selling advertorials. So I'd be selling the advert and writing the copy. I then started writing for magazines as a food critic, because I trained as a head chef and a hotel manager when I went to college, because I was like, I have no idea what I want to do.
Mhm.
So I'll train to be a hotel manager, and then I've got business skills. It's all good. Um, and then I set up my own business when I was 21, started publishing new media, writing a lot of the media copy for that. And then I kept getting asked a lot of the same questions, because my ex-husband, he's a Palestinian Egyptian.
Mhm.
Hence one of the reasons why I speak Arabic. And I kept getting asked all the same question. You know what? I'm just going to write a book, and then you can all just go and buy the book. And then I went, oh, I better go do that now, actually.
So that, so tell me how was it like, when you started, nowadays with books, with certain big names like Amazon, they have changed the, landscape of authors and
Hmm.
even, writers, also, musicians with pandemic, of course, changed a lot of these. So tell me how is it now and when you started?
Um, I think one of the biggest things that we're seeing now is that anyone can upload a book. And that means literally anyone can upload a book. And it doesn't, I mean, we could, I actually say to a lot of people when I do a summit, I could actually photocopy my dog's paw prints run a 99-cent special for 24 hours and get that to an international bestseller. And that is the problem with people writing a book these days and then using the title as author for something that probably wouldn't even pass high school English. And that's one of the problems that we're seeing in the publishing world at the moment. And people are using the word author and they're manipulating it. There are not that many authorities on subjects anymore. And it's a real bugbear of mine. So we're seeing that, but what we're also seeing is a lot of people are boycotting big names like Amazon for political reasons, whether it's for the way in which they're treating their teams and the economical or the environmental issues that are facing Amazon. I have actually I've been saying, Amazon is becoming the litter bin of literature, because there's a lot of mediocrity out there, and a lot of people will buy people's books to help them get to be an international bestseller out of pity or just out of support for them, and that's a shame. And the thing is, we need to actually say, why am I writing this book? Is it being properly edited? Has it got a proper decent cover on it? Or is it something that we've whacked up on Canva with a little bit of clip art? And I think the thing is that I know the publishing world is quite divided on this at the moment, because yes, it's a great opportunity. Who is to say who is a good author and who isn't? Who is to say is a good musician and who isn't? But what a lot of people are failing to understand is that there are several types of publishers out there. There are people like myself who are boutique, and we actually I specialize in the genre of social justice and human rights and memoirs. So if a business person comes to me, I'm like, if you want to write this book, like a client of mine, Crystal, she is writing the book 51 P's to Powerful P's to Public Speaking. And I said, I'm happy to publish it, but you have to make it more memoir. You have to put yourself in there so you can establish your credibility. You have to establish who you are and why you are the right person to learn from. And in this book, a friend of mine, Julie, she deals mainly in instructional business books. So if anyone comes to me, I pass them to her because I like to stay in my own lane. But I do think that there needs to be a lot more accountability and a lot more vetting that's going on in the world of publishing at the moment. And, coming through us, we can help, as an author coach, I can advise you on how to build a business, a very lucrative business through publishing and authoring, but you've got to do the work. You can't just write a book and then expect everything to fall into your lap. It's like anything. If you want to play a guitar, I'd need several lessons. You really don't want me to play a guitar. Air guitar I'm pretty good at, but
yeah. And I just give you my example. Yes, my book actually I wrote because I did myself. I lost 100 pounds, and I used to just hand out to patients because I practice medicine. I used to hand out instructions to patients, and many times patients say, no, give us the whole plan. So I thought, it's like too short. Okay, I wrote chapter by chapter. I put it in a book. It's all about how I kind of learned my way out with traditional medicine and what was it to change your lifestyle. Okay. So, and coming from somebody, of course, we are taught medicine different way and giving medications and all that. So, and you're busy and full-time work, and with everything going around, you have to still live your best lifestyle. So finding my way back to my life was my story. So, and that 5 years ago till that today, even I still practice, of course, that lifestyle. And then, so I put it in a book, and it was really well received. A lot of my patients, they are constant readers. Everybody who sees me as a doctor, they get to read that, and then they of course have an option not to read or to read, but they love to read that, and they can connect with me in a way.
And I think that's the thing, when you put yourself into it as well as your expertise,
Mm.
it's like you're sitting learning from a friend. You
Yeah.
are actually really connecting on that human level.
Mm.
And because you've been through that journey yourself, they're going to trust you more, as
Yeah.
well as the fact that you're a medical doctor.
Yeah.
So you've got a great format there. It's and I really do like to see that rather than all of these.
Yeah, there are people, that's true. There are people out there who will be business writing books on economics and they have never even run a company. So
Mm,
that's true. That is sad, but it's true.
And a lot of it is down to PR companies because the PR companies are saying, get your Facebook posts, get your top 10 tips or your most popular emails, go find somebody on Fiverr, get them to collate it, get on Canva, do a book template, and then upload it. And PR companies are actually damaging the world of literature right now.
Yes, true. But I think people who are really great, artists as well as writers, they can differentiate. Who I mean, people who know this in and out, they can really connect to real authors. But ordinary people can't. So
Mm,
that is the hardest part. And the same thing for medicine too. You will see every kind of book and every kind of Dr. Google out there, advice.
Dr. Google, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody who wants to look up everything, they will just come and they will tell us, okay, no, this is like this is like that. Well, but the sad thing is, it does not have a truth, and then you can, yes, reading one wrong thing is one thing, but you can really damage yourself.
Mm,
And then there are a lot of people, it's unbelievable. And many times actually I want to Google and check what my patients are or somebody's reading, and then you want to find out. And exactly right, every kind of person out there is going to talk about, whether they're expert or not. They are going to talk and claim that they know everything, and that can really ruin somebody's life, in my opinion,
mm.
right?
It really can. And this is the thing, is whenever I work with anybody, I really like to make sure that they're writing and publishing a book for all the right reasons. Now, unfortunately, some people are actually very good at manipulating or deceiving themselves, and one or two do get through my checks, which then just makes me heighten them even a bit more. But unless we're actually getting advice from an expert, I mean, I have a team of people who are more expert in their role than I am, which is why I've hired them.
Hmm.
People come to a doctor because you are able there to sit in front of them. Looking at Google and seeing a mark on the skin and looking at it from somebody's picture that they uploaded onto Google is very different to somebody who's trained going, actually, that's just slightly different off color or a different shade. That's something completely different. I mean, my father-in-law was a cardiologist and a lot of my friends are doctors.
Mm.
Um, and a friend of mine actually worked in A&E. She goes, do you know, it's got to the point now where so many people are checking on Google that when we actually get an accident or an emergency, we actually get excited because everybody else is just coming in with a slight fever, or and they're not sick. They just need to go home and drink some water and have some rest because they're burnt out, which again, it leads them down to another path.
Yeah, that's true. So also tell me, what else you do beside writing and giving tips and coaching. How do you enjoy your life?
I do when I'm on land. I make sure I'm as close to the ocean, or if not on the ocean or on the beach as possible. And I do quite a bit of diving and snorkeling, and swimming in the ocean. Now that I'm on land and I'm in actual Andes at the moment at a mountain retreat, so I've been doing quite a bit of horse riding and hiking. I love cooking when I've got my own kitchen, but when you travel nonstop and live the life of a digital nomad, trying to find an apartment that works for you, you just end up living in and out of hotels. So I love cooking. I absolutely love it. Going to a market and smelling the vegetables, and it's like,
Well,
oh,
now I have to ask you about then cooking.
go on then. Yeah,
What kind of food do you like?
food.
Every food. Yeah.
my favorite ingredient is food.
Any
No, I love Arabic food, and I could be in the kitchen all day, all weekend. And when my children were younger, we would be in the kitchen from all weekend just cooking. And I love cooking Arabic food. And it's quite interesting. When I was in Argentina, I actually said to myself, I really do want some food from home. And all I could think of were Arabic flavors. And I was like, okay, I know I think in Arabic, but but yeah, I love all food. I'm vegan, and I'm gluten free. I don't have sugar. I don't eat processed food. I don't drink alcohol. If it's not clean, I don't eat it,
Mhm.
because we're not meant to. The stuff that most people, as you will know, the stuff that most people eat is not food. It's like chemical based. I mean, I have a rule: if I can't read it and spell it, I'm not eating it.
No,
And if
well,
it doesn't,
that
but
sounds good. That sounds yeah.
sorry.
That is true. A lot of people, we eat and habits things which are more synthetic, and they're not natural flavors. That's sad because
Mm,
that's causing a lot of problem for our digestive system,
mm.
and not only
And then we wonder why so many people are so sick these days.
yeah, lot of disease, name it, from immunity to all kind of, they will be actually partly responsible. So food industry, in my opinion, is really out of control here.
It needs bringing to task. And this is the thing, I don't trust a lot of these organizations that are pushing this so-called vaccine at the moment, because if you have been pushing this food, and for example, when people say that like all these cancer charity organizations and research organizations, we know that cancer cannot live in an alkaline body. So why are the food standards industries not being told to stop creating foods that are actually putting people's body into an acidic environment?
Yeah, so
That's corporate manslaughter. These organizations are
yeah, they
causing an environment that's causing cancer, and people are going, oh, but I'll just have more radiation. Just eat properly and sort your head out. Oh, I could get so off on one right now.
no. I mean, you're on right track. I mean, that's the problem is that industry is so strong.
Mm.
Anything you say about them, or I wish people like you and me, we could have our voice heard everywhere. But the sad thing is, we are nothing as compared to them. And then
Yeah, but they control us because they're afraid of us, Dr. Moby.
yeah,
You
yeah,
only control something you are afraid of.
yeah.
And when
So
the public realize the strength and the power that they have when they unite, like we did in Tahrir Square when we overthrew Hosni Mubarak.
yeah,
Anyone who thought that the Egyptians would get together in those amount of numbers, we were like, that's never going to happen. They're Egyptian, that will never happen. And then we overthrew Mubarak. We knew it was coming. We knew something was coming, but people, you only have, you control fire so it doesn't get out of control. You
mm,
control children so that they don't get harmed. You only control something that you are either afraid of or is more powerful than you.
mm. And that's sad. A lot of people, unfortunately, they think that is the progress. People also from my country, also from Pakistan, and they have kind of adopted a lot of these fast food, and they think that is a progress in some ways. I don't see
Mm,
that. It's sad, very, very sad.
mm.
So diabetes, as a result, diabetes, hypertension, and 10 other disease, they are there. And I tell them, you really have to think. Even the whole medicine is geared towards giving you more medication and being my client for rest of your life. That's
Absolutely.
sad, very sad. That's
It is, absolutely. And that's one of the things that with my current series of books, the Sacral series, I'm actually writing, the books are 9 true stories written as fiction,
mm,
so that I can protect the identity of the people whose stories I'm writing and their families' identities. And so I've taken their stories and I've looked at the different aspects of their story and go, where else is this happening in the world? And then I've given them that identity. But what I've also done, the reason I chose to write these stories were because each of these 9 people chose an alternative healing methodology. So one of them, like Layla in the second book, she chose art therapy to heal herself.
mm.
Pandora, the third book, she used free diving in ice cold water to numb the pain, and now she's free diving all around the world.
Wow.
And Alpha, who's the lady who I've just written about, she suffered at the hands of FGM, a marital rape, and she used social activism to channel her pain and channel her anxiety and her power into giving a voice for other women. And the next book that I'm writing, Faith, he's actually used
Mm.
the field of education to heal himself. And this
Wow.
thing, when we actually flip things around, I mean, it goes all the way up through, you know, from the social system, social care system, the prison system, the policing system, and then the justice system. So these books are really, someone said to me, you're a really dangerous woman. I'm like, I'm not. I'm really nice. My mind might be dangerous and
Yeah.
my passion, but when we flip everything that's happened to us for everything happening for us, and we go, this happened for me so I can serve other people, we shift ourselves out of a victim mentality. We shift ourselves out of fear and the cortisol and the adrenaline, which actually, as you know, will poison our body from the inside out. And when we flip that, it then becomes, we turn it into that positive hormone of our endorphins and our serotonin, and it starts to fuel our body with all these happy chemicals. And when we eat a plant-based diet, people always ask me, how come you're so energetic, you're happy all the time? I'm like, because of gratitude and
That's
knowing that everything is happening for me. It's an amazing process.
Yeah, and that is true. And I tell also, actually, that's how I started my book. First chapter, first line is when you wake up, you should be having that gratitude because you're lucky
Absolutely.
that you're awake. There could be reason you might not even be awake. So that is a lot of blessing by itself. So, yes.
It is. The fact
And
that you're in a bed, the fact that you've got a roof, even if you haven't got a roof, the people in Argentina, I was amazed. I mean, I always make my bed first thing in the morning, you
mm,
know, because I'm grateful I have a bed to sleep in. And I'm grateful that I have sheets and a blanket
yeah,
these
yeah.
days. But the people in Argentina that were homeless, you would see them wake up in the morning and put their sleeping bag, and they would arrange and they would make their bed, whether that was a bed of cardboard boxes or a bed of mattresses or a bed of whatever it was.
Mm,
They would make and organize their space.
mm.
And I was like, how many people do that in the world?
That is sad. Yeah, a lot of people are homeless. That's true.
Mm.
Also tell me a little bit. So we'll tell audience about your website. So everybody should check her website, dawnbates.com. And as you can see, she has all kind of published work there by dates and by clients. And
Mm.
wow, that's
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
a lot of
Podcasts.
podcast bookings and masterminds. What is masterminds?
The
Done.
Mastermind is a publishing deal that I've created with 6 people that I've chosen around the world. Like I said, we're actually updating this website, so it's really interesting for me to see this. All the color schemes and everything are changing, but the Mastermind is 7 key modules
Mm,
looking at leadership past and present is the first module, and then a modern day, what does leadership actually mean? And how can we embody a new realm of leadership, a
mm,
matriarchal realm, and then we move into culture diversity, then we move into social justice and human rights. Then we're looking at ego and imposter syndrome. Then we're going to look at the branding. Then we're going to look at the marketing of it all. And then the 8th month, which is the aftercare, aftershock, will be when we tie up everybody's manuscripts. And then the 9th month will be when we publish and launch the books. But each of these modules, they're really deep diving. That they get a textbook with each module. They don't get a workbook that's just got a few lines on it. They actually do get a textbook with each module, and each textbook is actually a week-by-week cyclical thing, because in the first week they'll get the first section of the textbook to work through. The second week we then get on a full-day mastermind where we're doing workshops and debating. Then the third week it's a quick Q&A session and a planning session, and then the fourth week will be implementing. So each of the 7 topics in each of the 7 modules will then cycle every single week throughout. So it's I've loved putting it together, and I'm using quite a bit of the information that I'm learning from my PhD in international law and social justice. Yeah, there's quite a bit there. You can see the product spectrum that I do with my authors, and like if clients want top-ups, then there's also looking at what's possible, where we're actually looking at what's possible for them and where they're at and where they're moving forward. And looking at how they can always expand their brand. I write for an international women's success magazine called Preeminence, so that's very exciting. That's been dubbed the feminine. That's been dubbed the Vogue of feminine high performance. And I'm also a journalist for MSP News Global. So there's lots going on.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, well, thank you for coming to our show and kind of giving us all kind of spectrum of what you do. And so, what is any final thoughts or final message you would like to convey to our audience?
For me, it's just be confident with who you are, and if I have a tip that I love to share with people. It's about the environment of people that we keep. If you were to have a party and you were to invite all the people that are on your list or in your phone, on your social media, wherever it is, and that person said yes, how would you feel? Would you be, oh God, no, they said yes? Or would you be, yes, they're coming? The people who you have a negative response to, remove them from your life.
Wow, that's powerful. Very simple, but straight to the point. So, so if you're not very positive about them coming, then should you keep them or should you remove them?
I just remove them. You don't have to answer to anybody. You do not. This is your life. You only get one chance to live life as powerfully and as on your terms as possible. And if you've got people in your life that are affecting you in any negative way, they're affecting your energetic vibration, which impacts the quality of life, the quality of sleep, the quality of joy in your life. So just get rid of them.
Wow, very powerful. Thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Okay, so everybody who's listening, check her out, visit her. If you need help, she is there for one-to-one coaching. It's really very impressive. Take care, Dawn.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moby. Shukran.
Shukran, Jazi.
Ma salama.
Ma salama.